but while I'm thinking about it, since I'm going to be doing my research here in a second, um, we are doing, like I said, the U- Unitarian, I think it's how Unitarian, church graveyard or cemetery in Charleston, South Carolina. It does have supposedly the real life inspiration for Annabel Lee, Edgar Allan Poe, Edgar Allan Poe's last poem, and the story goes that Poe was down there doing military service under a pseudonym. And this is legit, by the way. He was down there, and he met a girl, Anna Ravenel. Ravenel. I can't remember. I'm not really sure. Anyways, meets Anna. They fall in love. Her father disapproves. They were meeting in cemeteries late at night, kind of thing. Um, he gets Poe sent away. She locks her in a room. She falls ill and subsequently dies without ever seeing Poe again. He comes back to try and say his goodbyes, but her father buried her in one plot and then had 4 fake ones all next to each other buried, so he was never able to determine which plot was hers and say his proper goodbyes. And as a result, she haunts the cemetery. Now, the research that I was doing on my own over the weekend as I clean up and get ready to do my research now, said that one of the websites said that Poe may have actually heard this tale as like an old local legend where it was a sailor who fell in love with a girl. Her father didn't, and she was buried in the cemetery in 5, well, with 5 plots, her being in one and him never knowing which one she was in. Or it could have been that he met this girl and that it was based on her. So I find that interesting because there is no proof that she exists. All right, we're gonna turn off the boob cam. Glove. All right. So there is no proof that Anna exists in the way that they say. There is um, Anna Elizabeth Ford Ravenel, who lived and died right around the same time frame, but she was older. She was born either 1790 or 1791. I've got some conflicting dates, and died in either 1829 when Anna supposedly died or in 1831. She is buried in St. Peter's Episcopal Churchyard in their graveyard. So, still Charleston. So the name does exist as somebody who lived and died around that time, but she had, depending on what website you look on, had either 1 child or 3 children. And again, was much older. She was not 14, 15 years old. She was this like almost 40. So yeah. Completely different person. I'm trying to read over my notes. Let's see. It said that Edmund Ravenel. Ravenel. I'm not really sure how. I get stumped on this constantly. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce his last name, and it bothers me that I'm not sure. Um, when I did his research, did I write down? I don't think I wrote down when he was born, but he was too young to have been the father of anybody who was 14, 15 years old. When I looked into his siblings, none of them had children that were old enough. Because I found this interesting. He had a few siblings who were older than him, and of course, some that were younger. But even his older siblings that were all old enough to have had a 14-year-old daughter, none of them did. They didn't actually start having kids until much later. So I do find that interesting that um they were like more in their 30s and stuff before they started having kids. So we don't really have any proof that Anna exists in the way that we were told, but we do have two other possible suspects for what ghosts are haunting this churchyard or cemetery. But there is Lavana Fisher, who she was a criminal who was hung, possibly falsely accused of highway robbery with her husband John. They were both sentenced to death for this. She is said to haunt anyone who disturbs her grave, and was reportedly wearing white when she died, and is the lady in white that they claim to see at this cemetery. Anna is one suspect for it. She is another, and then we have, I'm trying to adjust my camera slightly. Hang on, you guys. We have Mary Whiteridge. Let's see. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to make sure that I'm trying to figure out how to make sure I'm centered, so that way when I'm doing my editing later, it's not a bitch. But we have Mary Whiteridge, who honestly, to me, if we're gonna have a ghost that's gonna haunt the cemetery, her story is the one that I feel like is definitely. She died the same day as her husband. Do I have his name? His name was G.R. Whiteridge, but he was traveling to Baltimore for illness, and he died on the way. And when they reached out to her to be able to claim his body, she never responded, and it was because she had died same day he died. She's buried in her family plot in the Unitary Church Cemetery, and he is buried in a pauper's grave in Baltimore. And so it said that she wanders as the lady in white looking for her husband. And if anybody was going to be the person who um, is the ghost, I would say it's her because one, she did exist. Two, she is buried in the cemetery. It's uh, we were looking on Find a Grave. I actually pulled up her grave last week, and you can see it. You can go visit it. She's very real. So I do want to try and see if I can prove if Lovely Fisher was a real person or not. And also too, I want to look to see if there's anything about his husband would make their story more true. Well, not more true, but true. So let's see. You guys will be so proud of me too. True. I have extra notes, but they're still like nice, neat notes, right? And I even had a little sticky note on there saying continue, like for my continuing to research and everything and stuff, so that way I wouldn't forget to tell you guys anything. When my brain is firing on all cylinders, it's amazing what can be done. So it's nice that she pops up as a serial killer. Oh, but see, hang on, never mind. I was going to say it's the wrong year, but it doesn't fucking matter what year this was. Um, let's see. I'm doing a quick little skim. Thank you, Jordan, for the 500 bits. Uh, so they were suspected of. This is slightly different from the story that I read the other day, last week. I do remember them saying that there was bodies that were buried. There was at least two bodies that were buried behind the hotel when after like they were put to death. She would send them to their rooms with a cup of poisoned tea, and once they drank their tea and went to bed, her husband would go to the room to beat them almost to the point of killing. Another version of the legend is that the tea would only put them to sleep. When they were almost asleep, she would pull a lever and the bed would collapse and drop the victim into a pit. Mm. This is just one like the final story of. I'm trying to do like a skim of where it might say she was laid to rest. Tried to escape and didn't go as planned. She got stuck in jail and John got out, but he was unwilling to continue the escape plan and was recaptured. That's sweet. Mhm. Okay. It says that she was buried in a potter's field near the old city jail. Claims of her burial at 150 Meeting Street, which is the Circular Congregational Church, or at the Unitarian Church, appear to have been fictions promoted by tour guides. All right. Well, that's easy enough. She's not going to be the ghost we're looking for, even though she was a real person. Very interesting story. So I'll definitely make sure I link all of this too because it's quite interesting. So she's real, whether or not she was a serial killer or not. I mean, it seems kind of hard not to think that she wasn't, or was. Wait, no, to think that she wasn't a serial killer. Let me drop this down in my links. Let's see. I think there's one of these that I wanted to share with you guys. So this one, please don't play anything loud. Okay, this is just about the time Poe spent um in the Charleston area because so apparently he wrote. Let's realize. All right, you guys can't see that. Let me drop this in for you guys. to switch all my stuffs around. Alright, so apparently Poe wrote, what is it, Gold Bug? Is that what it was called? The Gold Bug was set on, was it Sullivan's Island? I made my computer think too much, you guys. I'm sorry. Everything's being like skippy. Yeah. So Goldbug took place in Sullivan Island, but he didn't write it for like 15 years after he left. So some of the things that he writes about don't really match up with what the island, I guess, looks like or looked like when it came out, or things were just modified. And again, it's always kind of funny. This goes along with what I was saying about the writer's inspiration last week, where when you're writing things, they're not always going to be exact anyways, unless you're trying to write, like descriptive nonfiction. You're going to put some twists and things like that into it for whatever reason. But also, too, even after 15 years, the way you see something may be slightly different than the way it was because your memory changes. But also, too, I wanted to point this out. This Post Tavern right here, we have one of these on the island that I work in. I've never been. Apparently there is an Annabel Lee burger though, and so I might just have to go and have lunch there one day. Either I just saw where you said you were living the stream. I just remember to look at my chat. It's Tavern. I like how it's got the like burnout look of him right there. But I haven't been to the one here, so I have no idea what it looks like. But so um even here they talk about how um people will say that it was Annabelle Lee was based off of, but there's just nothing that holds up to the historical record that he says right here. The folklore does not hold up to the historical record. Um, so yeah. Even if he did meet somebody and decided to write about her one day and everything, like why does it have to be, like I said last week, why does it have to be about one person? You're gonna if you're writing something and you wanted it to be like as big and as epic as possible, there's always a chance you're gonna pull from other people. Right. So we know Miss Fisher is real. Actually, no. I know that she's real. I wanted to look up her husband. Let's see if I can find a GR. Okay. I have to make sure I look at the right stuff in my book because I have all these dates and my brain is looking at things and going, listen, see, now those are the wrong dates. But lighting's all okay. I just realized it's very low. Um, he died in Mount Pleasant in Charleston County, South Carolina. Again, he died on his way to Baltimore. What time period does it match up? See, this is what I looked at the other day was with her find a grave we looked at. Once my computer thinks a little bit. Oh, you're fine, Evil. I'm sitting here and I'm just kind of focused on what I'm doing. I keep forgetting to look at the chat. Terrible streamer. Oh, I always forget to look at the chat. You're enjoying the stream? Yeah, I'm gonna still be here until 6. So this doesn't have any links to. Mm. You're too children. I swear sometimes though, you guys can probably see like the smoke coming out of my ears. Mm. I'm gonna make my computer less angry for a second. Hang on. I'm gonna unplug my extra camera. If everything goes to shit, I am so sorry. I don't need this one up right now. Mostly because I keep being like uncentered and I can see it just enough off to the side. And it's, again, driving me crazy because it makes it harder if I want to try and use any of this for anything later on because I'm not fucking centered. All right, hang on. There we go. Is that better? This is really what it's like watching my brain work. All right. Thanks, Evil. I feel like I'm gonna hate that I clicked on this because. Oh, maybe not. Is this the person I wanted? Nope. It's definitely not the person I wanted. But mhm. All right. I don't have when she was born. She was born in New York. She died in 1907. So that's what I need to look for some of these. 1907. Is it Control F? That's the find. There we go. We don't have anything for. People, go get your DNA swab so that way I can find your information online. Not me. I'm not going to get my DNA swabbed for stuff like this. But everybody else can do it so that way I can find what I'm looking for. Sorry, there's one on here. Mary Cushing Whiteridge. She was the consort of Dr. William Whiteridge. Ooh. Okay. So nice back clipper. Did the audio get quiet? Did I fuck with something? I may have fucked with something. Is it better? I tried to push all my cables back in. You can hear me? Am I quiet though? Did I fuck something up? There's always a 99% chance that I did a fuck up. For starters, let me make sure the correct microphone. Okay, can you guys hear me? Is that better? It could be your headphones. All right. It also said the device was default, so it could have, when I unplugged my one camera, it could have like shifted everything. When I was recording earlier today, every single time I hit the record button, I had to change my microphone from like the default one for a webcam to my actual microphone, even though the default for my computer is set to be my plug-in microphone. Fucking drive me crazy. Technology. Alright, this one I've already looked at because I have this page saved. And this is where we just were. So it's like, this is frustrating because she is real. Maybe I should search for her whole. Like how I um hmm. I need more people to get their DNA tested. I'm just gonna keep saying that over and over again. Yep. January 23rd, 1907. It says spouse unknown. It was written on her damn tombstone. But that's not helpful. And this is just more from the Find a Grave. I don't know if I've looked on this page or not. I think maybe I did though. Oh, no, it's at least I don't. Yeah, I don't think I was on this one. Oh, this says that her husband left for Boston on business. Hmm. So, was he going to Boston or was he going to Baltimore? You know, us Southerners, we don't know the difference between the two, so yeah. I kid, I kid. I know the difference between Boston and Baltimore. presidents and everything for him. I didn't really want to flip the page on my notes, so my notes tend to have more taped in note pages because, like, for just one little thing, I don't feel like flipping the whole fucking page and starting on anything new, like a new page. So I have my fucking lore book's like so chunky for multiple reasons of how I put it together. But yeah, so what's today's date? Today is the 8th. All right, so we have a story. Let me save this in case I fucking touch something and lose it later. Uh, I like how it says though. Uh, I guess okay. When he departed for Boston on business one night, he was never to return. All right, like this it just made it sound like he just went to Boston for one night, and it's just like even now going to Boston, like round trip overnight kind of thing would just be not impossible, but very tiring because like the flights and everything. All right. In my brain, um, it's just like he's Mr. Business and he never returned because Gail picked him up. And if you understand what I'm saying, bravo. If not, that's a Bob's Burgers reference. It's here fucking Gail though. Mr. Business. I just heard a very loud sound outside, and I hope they don't come this way. Whatever the loud sound was. So, for anybody who wasn't here last week, Unitarian churches don't do a lot of upkeep on their cemeteries. Their whole thing is let the body rest in peace. So that's why this graveyard looks very overgrown. It's very pretty, that's for sure. All right. Wonder. I doubt this is gonna pop up when I search, but she says she died January 23rd. Trying to think of. Let's still put just. Should I put South Carolina? No, I don't really want to do that because sometimes, like, if you sometimes put in this, like, if I said South Carolina, I mean, since she was from New York, it may pop up there or something like that. All right. Oh, just let me type. Hang on. Oh, not that far. If you ever wonder how I get my pocket lore, sometimes I just come here and see whatever the freak clipping is. Oh, that's a lot of. All right, let's start with South Carolina. Offer. Uh, eventually, one day. Jade, you love my pocket lore. I appreciate that. One of these days, I'm gonna have a subscription with them. But all right, that's a bust because clearly I can't access their stuff. Um, let's just see what this is right fast. It's the right year. It looks like. I'm curious to know why this popped up for. This is gonna be one of these creepy things. I have to save this. I have to be weird. It's 530 pages. I have to be weird though and watch my computer say it doesn't have enough room because I don't have my external plugged in. Oh, good. It's actually not nearly as big as I was fearing it was. Uh, will this let me? Oh, all right. Kind of like run through its cycle maybe and holy fuck. Oh, okay, that's just what it was. This is teeny tiny little footnote right here is why this popped. Interesting though that it's again right around the right year. And yes, again, I did save it because I like weird, creepy reading. Hmm, trying to think. And I don't want to have to fucking. Why don't we have old things like this online? Why? Why? Let's see. This will let me search. These people are old and dead. They don't fucking care anymore. None of those are going to be helpful. Wait, did it say I won't have immediate access? I may have said that. Sorry for the face I made. Um, Hang on. I'm gonna pull this up in the one that I'm logged into. What the fuck went wrong? Let me log in. Alright, hang on. I either make funny faces or I make weird sounds. Alright, hang on. Wait, no. I'm clicking the wrong buttons. Hang on. Just let me log in. Oh God. This is a church site, so um I'm debating on whether or not I want to sign up for this. Just so I could see if it has the information I want. But it's like optional. I want to add my Church of Jesus Christ membership information to enable church features. I do not. Like how it makes you put in your fucking birthday. Like it's pulling from Google. Just let me fucking log in easily. Or like create account easily. This is why I was doing it underneath the one that you guys can't see. I can always make aliases. I can, but that's just a pain in the ass. I feel like I'm gonna burst into flames too, Jade. My dumb ass. Why isn't it not pulling up from where I was? Because I fucking copied it from a different fucking page. That's why. You guys, I am just. Oh, for. All right, hang on. Let's see if I can get this. Like how I didn't hit the paste and go. I just hit the paste. I never hit paste and go. I don't know why. Nope, not 1904, 1907. Ah! Okay, so if this is true, this might be her husband. No. Yes. In which then their stuff wouldn't line up. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing. All right, hang on. I'm going to switch screens so I can log in without you guys seeing like all of my personal information. All right. Spell that right. Yep. Off. Confirm whether or not this is you trying to log in. Yes, it's fucking me. Nope. Okay. Alrighty. So now that I am logged in, see if I can just paste and if it'll. Alright. Now you guys are seeing what I had pulled up on the other. Okay. All right, open this up in a new tab. Let me view the original. Because I'm weird and I like to see paper parts. I don't know why I did a honka honka for it, but not that I can really see anything off of it. Um, like, man, it's crazy. Like, this is how they recorded stuff. I'm trying to see if I can see which one it would have been. But ah, is this right here? I think. All right. You gotta head out. All right. You have a good day, Derek. It's my thing not. We're just gonna go back. Oh. All right. So I'm not quite sure what it means for that for her burial information. It says she was 60 years old. And this is her. Okay, yeah. It's verified that that's her by the date. This is interesting because it does say that he was born, or not born, buried in the correct church. Um, don't know how would you pronounce his name? Gustavus? All right, and says he died February 8th, 1917, and he's buried again in the Unitarian Church. So, wow, how's an age difference? I think not massive. Like she was 60 years old, he was 87. Oh, and I'm not doing the fucking math right because he was only 17 years older than her, not 27. All right. Right here. So it looks like it says Hendersonville, North Carolina, right next to it. So I wonder if maybe he was initially in Hendersonville. I'm not really quite sure if you guys can like see where my mouse is or not. Um, it's got his name, and then right here it looks like Hendersonville is near Asheville. Um, it's gonna make a note because I find that interesting. Hendersonville is home of the Apple Festival each year. So this, okay, hang on. Let me pull this up in a new tab. No. All right. Okay. All right. No, for the love of God. I feel like genealogy is gonna tell me I'm either gonna have to sign up or opt for. Is this different than like all the other? Okay, because this looks like fucking Ancestry. I don't know if it is. I may have to do some working around that. I don't want to do while streaming. This says Mary Rogers was his wife. Which the birth is similar. And Mount Pleasant is where she reportedly passed or was living when she passed. Wow. Nope. This says he died in Argentina. And okay, so Hendersonville looks like this says where he died. Why was there one that said fucking Buenos Aires? Like, place. So is this just a different one in it? Which one did I just click on? Was it this one? This was the census. All right, well, this from the census in 1900, it matches up with him being in Charleston. His wife, that says Whitridge. Wait, so is it Whit or White? Well, that's just fucking confusing. We do know she existed. Like, she literally has a gravestone. And this could just be any number of reasons why it looked like that. Or maybe their name got changed. I don't fucking know. Hmm. That's very teeny tiny handwriting. But even okay, so if we go with this dude, even with a different spelling here, everything else seems to line up. So if he is in fact Mary's husband, they did not die on the same day. They in fact died 10 years apart. And I don't know fucking who the ghost is. Because we have two people who did exist, Mary and Lavina. They both did exist, but clearly not in the capacity that the ghost stories tell us. And then we have this. We also have Anna, who didn't really exist, apparently, so I need to make a note. What am I trying to make a note? They died 10 years apart. Okay. And to cap it all off, find this information. I didn't tear my page cleanly, and now I'm going to be all upset over that. To find this information, I had to sign up for a church site. All right. Whatever. It is what it is. This is probably going to be like so the last day on stream that I research. I think I've pretty much hit just what I can. I'm going to look on YouTube to see if maybe anybody has just some of their like I caught the woman in white on camera kind of thing. Not even to like try and debunk or anything, just so that way I have something to show that this is also a ghost story and not just something that's made up. Not just random people who died in and around the area and we made up tales for ghost tours, but so that way we actually have something. Thank you, Jordan, for the GGs. I appreciate it. But yeah, I am gonna get ready and go. Do I wear zombie pants out in public? I think I might. They're comfortable. Um, I gotta go. I'll see you guys all next week. I'll be back on Friday, 4 to 6, streaming again. And I won't be researching. I don't know what we'll talk about. We'll do something. We'll do something fun for the last hour, and we'll continue coloring because that's just an enjoyable thing for me to do. All right. I'll see you guys all next week night. You have a great day 2. I can't talk. I'm trying to read and talk at the same time. But you have a good night, Evil. You have a good night, Jade. You have a good night, Jordan. I think that's everybody on stream. So y'all have a good one.